Alright guys, so this is Andrew
and Dave,
and we are finally back because I am finally able to talk without hacking up my fucking lungs. So here we are, and we don't really have a set topic for this week. We're going to kind of work in what we were going to do into the conversation at some point, but this is kind of like just an unplugged free-for-all, so feel free to just sit back, enjoy, and pretty much be an eavesdropper on our conversation in the greatest way possible. So, David and I were just talking about music, and him and I both are, you would say, pretty diverse music fans as far as like genres go. I mean, we each have a genre that we that I'd call it like our home or centric genre that we love. For me, I'm a 80s metalhead at heart, always will be. David focuses more so on go ahead.
I'd go rhythm and blues lately.
Yeah.
Lately my mainstay is rhythm and blues. And that goes for both the traditional sense of rhythm and blues, B.B. King, Stevie Ray, stuff like that, but also, R&B, what today everybody calls R&B, I love music, dude. Like, yeah. I love music, and I've amassed all this fucking knowledge, and I was just saying to Andrew that I'm kind of worried I'm becoming a jazz snob, or a music elitist, maybe, because I've amassed all this knowledge, and I have all this love and all this passion for music. I can't stand shit, dude. Like, I can't go out and see local bands anymore, because if they suck, yeah, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna say something. Yeah. And it's not a pleasant look for me. I'm an asshole in public. Yeah. Especially at a bar. If I go to a bar and the local band's playing and I'm drunk and they suck, you're gonna hear a mouthful from me. And it's kind of becoming an issue.
Yeah, I agree, because we've definitely been out to some bars. I mean, no, the one band that we seen, the one that they were pretty good, they were pretty decent.
Oh, the kid.
Yeah. But I've definitely been to some bars where the music was just like, all right, like that episode of South Park where it's Cartman's mom goes to the meteor party and Shelly, Stan's sister, has to come over to babysit him, and her fucking 25-year-old or 20-whatever-year-old boyfriend comes over and brings the band, and they're just terrible, and you just hear Cartman on the phone go, "God damn it, mom, get home because of the whole shitty band and everything, get the fucking..." Like, that's how terrible these fucking bands were. But I mean, alright, so here's the thing. So right now, currently, we are in South Jersey. So, contrary to what everybody wants to believe with New Jersey, there's a lot of good artists that comes out of Springsteen, Bon Jovi, there's really a lot of shit bands here too that never make it anywhere, and a couple come to fucking mind, and somebody that you and I both know that, because this is going to be publicly released, I don't think it would be a wise idea to say any names, but you know who I'm talking about. He's a very pompous dick. Talented guitar player, but vocals, no fucking way. But anyway, what I was going to say about it is, I get very critical about cover bands and stuff playing too, just with the way that they do the songs. But at the same time, this is where it kind of backfires on me too, is I am in talks to, when I return to Tulsa, being the singer in a cover band myself. But you also know how I am about my voice. When even if I do something good, I'm such a perfectionist and a self-critic that so I'm gonna have to get over that. And being how I am so critical with bands, I kind of fear that people are going to be that way with me. But I guess I digress. We're talking about music in general. I'm going off on a skew, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Right. And my thing is, like, I feel like a lot of these bands, especially because I've seen a few recently. I've seen 3 or 4 in the past 3 months or whatever, and I kind of feel like the material that everybody locally is putting out recently is striving to be that label sound and content, and there's no passion in the music, and this is my biggest fucking thing.
Right.
If there's no passion behind your music,
don't play.
Yeah, don't play. Get the fuck off the stage. Go home. Go do something else. Do something you're fucking passionate about. Because if there's no passion in your music, nobody wants to fucking listen to that.
Right.
Shit.
There's no reason to get up there and play.
Right.
Because, I mean, let me tell you something. A lot of people can, like, talk about these legacy bands like Motley Crue, who are reuniting, and I definitely have some thoughts about that a lot of people won't fucking agree with. Which are, they're only reuniting because they're fucking greedy and they want to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Right.
Okay? Get that through your head. That's why the tickets are through the fucking roof. Vince can't sing anymore, so really they'd be better to not go back on the road. They're going to tarnish a legacy because of a cash grab. And I mean, they're paying, like, I think what I heard is, like, the tickets are about $300 or so. And the thing that gets me is you're paying money for this band that you used to love to see them haphazardly perform. And I don't believe in that at all. I mean, so you're paying $300 to see Vince Neil get up on stage and fucking go, why would you do that? It's a waste of fucking money.
You're paying $300 to be disappointed.
To be disappointed.
You want that nostalgia feel, and you're not going to get it. You're going to get there. They're going to start playing, and you're going to be extremely pissed off.
All right, so we'll go ahead and I'll talk about this. Because there's a couple bands that they don't perform as well as they used to. But the difference with it is I still feel like I can have a good time at the show because it's very clear that their passion for the music is still very much intact. So I can have a better time even if you don't perform as well as you used to. I'm not saying you're going to go up there and be dog shit terrible, but, you know, like down-tuning. Like, a lot of artists have to down-tune. And there's some people out there that have a problem with that. But, I mean, with age, I understand you kind of have to take a step back sometimes if you didn't take great care of your voice. So the rest of the band has to down-tune. But you still have the passion for the music. So, one act that comes to mind that he gets shit on so much for the way that his voice is gone is Dokken. And I've seen them about 4 times. And the last time that I seen them, which would have been 2017, was probably the best time that I have ever seen them. Because, yeah, Don's voice isn't sounding like it did in 1987, but he had the passion for the music, and he sounded decent. He actually was at a middle ground place where he was pulling off. Yeah, it was down-tuned, but I thought that they still sounded pretty goddamn good because the passion was there.
Right. And this is the biggest issue with, like, comebacks and even farewell tours.
Yeah.
Especially farewell tours. I think that, honestly, when you're done, you're done. Okay, if you need one last hurrah, if the entire band agrees, or, if there are solo artists, whatever, if you all agree that you absolutely need one last hurrah, don't be afraid to down, dude. For real. Don't go out there and pretend that you're still fucking 20-some years old and you still got this voice of a melodic angel. It's not that anymore.
David Lee Roth.
Yeah, right. So, don't even get me started. All right, so you personally know my passion for Van Halen.
Yeah, it was your dad's favorite band.
Right. Both David and Sammy. I fucking love Van Halen.
As do I.
If they were to go on tour and somebody was giving me fucking tickets with David right now, or, whatever, you couldn't give me those fucking tickets. You absolutely couldn't. But yes,
it's a waste of time.
His passion is still sort of intact, but at the end of the day, it's a cash grab for him.
It is a cash grab.
Bugs the fuck out of me.
Yeah. So now, because I mean, that kind of contradicts my point a little bit, so I guess I want to go back and reiterate just a little bit. Kind of like what I fucking said. I'm not talking about going up there and being dog shit terrible. If you're dog shit terrible, you're dog shit terrible, despite if you have passion. I'm going to kind of contradict myself here a little bit, but I'm admitting I am. What I'm saying is if you go up there and you give an honest effort and it still sounds decent, you can tell that there's the passion's still there. That's different than going up there and just being a fucking jackass. Because I'm sorry, folks. I'm all over the map right now. But I guess, with David Lee Roth, it's like his passion is more so in the old-timey Hollywood schlick that he does up there on the stage. Because, I mean, he can't just... All right, so listen. So, how hard is it for him to not go eccentric with the songs? This motherfucker's getting up there going, like, okay. So, what was that one we listened to? Dance the Night Away? Yep. He's going up there, let us see how! Like, right, that's eccentric. What is so hard about going up there and just going, have you seen her so fine and pretty? What is so hard about just singing it casually like that?
I'm going to go psychoanalyst here. So,
all right.
My opinion is that he's thinking, these people paid to see David Lee Roth,
Yeah.
The David Lee Roth they know, they love, they want to fucking hear. It doesn't register inside his fucked up head.
That when he sings, it sounds like you stepped on a fucking cat's tail.
Right. And yes, there is a little bit of that passion there, but I think his passion is now leaning more towards that paycheck. Okay, yes, when he gets up there and does the things that he does, acting like he's still young David Lee Roth, because yes, he wants to please his fans, but at the end of the day, he's only thinking these people paid to see me in my glory, but it just doesn't fucking register that he's not in his glory days anymore.
Yeah.
So
those are long gone, trust me.
And nobody's going to pay to see that, I would hope, honestly.
But then again, on the flip side of that, you have Sammy Hagar, who's like 10 years older than David Lee Roth, and he's out there and he's still sounding really, really good.
Right. And I mean, Sammy takes a lot more care of his health in general, but I mean,
it's a tequila.
Right. But sunshine and beaches.
Yeah.
And booties.
Yeah.
It keeps a man young forever. But I mean,
I've kind of always thought that like Sammy took music a lot more seriously than David Lee Roth did too.
I've always said that.
David Lee Roth more so just wanted to get out there and showboat around, and it's, hey man, it's David Diamond, David Lee Roth, I'm the party man.
Right. And like, so all right, for me this is really conflicting, because in almost every instance, let's say 7 out of 10 times, I prefer David Lee Roth to Sammy.
If you're listening to a CD.
Yeah.
It's just what you think of when you think of Van Halen in general.
Right. But now, if somebody, whatever, hypothetically, they were both playing at different places, somebody gave me free tickets to both fucking shows, I'm going to go see Sammy.
Oh, definitely.
Every single fucking time.
Sammy and Michael Anthony in the Circle, absolutely.
Right. But it kills me because I love David. I absolutely fucking love David Lee Roth. It brings back not only my childhood, I lost my dad when I was real young. Van Halen is a huge piece of my dad for me.
Yeah.
But like, I also have my own passion for their fucking music.
Yeah.
And to see him go out there and do this shit nowadays, it really kills me. I would rather him just stop.
Right.
I would much rather him just fucking stop. For real.
I would too. He said Van Halen's over because word on the street is Eddie's health is really declining. I think it needs to be over for him too.
Yeah. Right.
And
there comes a time in everyone's life where you need to pack it in.
You need to just stop.
And just go the fuck home.
And retire. Yeah. Everybody should have the right to just retire.
Right.
And I agree. And there's artists out there that will retire and that have retired. And I don't really... I don't know, man. And it's hard because it does not happen often.
Right. And I'm not saying that you can't come and do a cameo here or, show up on stage at somebody else's show because, right. They've invited you or, whatever. Yeah. But, like, I'm not saying, stay out of everyone's sight. Right. But I'm don't go do your own tour.
Yeah.
Don't put all this fucking, time and energy into going to
and
tour.
Then there's some people that they just keep on fucking rocking until they drop and they don't lose really hardly anything. Couple of examples that come to mind would be Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead and Ronnie James Dio.
Right.
Dio was bringing it until the very fucking end.
Yeah, absolutely.
So was Lemmy. But, all right, so a guy who has not lost it that is still alive and still sounding really good, Sebastian Bach.
Yes.
I don't know anything about how he takes care of his voice, but I'd imagine it'd have to be very well because he's still pulling it off, and I'm sure maybe he's tuned it down slightly, but it is, trust me, it is the slightest you can get, if he's even done it at all. Because, I seen him a couple years back, and he was phenomenal.
And you know what? That's kind of funny to me because he's also one of them real high energy, rockers that I wouldn't expect to really take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that he has, honestly. But it's rare.
Yeah. And Sebastian's main problem though is his temper, and that's why he's
right.
He is a high head because I watched him flip out on a kid in the front of the stage over the sound system because the kid said something about, I guess he said to his friend something about why is the sound messing up, and Baz heard that and he just flat out, "Hey man, fuck you! What are you even doing here? It's not my fucking job, motherfucker. Why don't you go the fuck home?" It's like, goddamn, Sebastian, calm the fuck down, dude. What's it to blow at you?
Right.
He is a very hypersensitive guy, but I've also heard of people who have met him and said he's the coolest motherfucker you can meet. So,
yeah,
I guess it all depends on time and place that you catch him.
Yeah, I'd imagine he'd be a really cool dude.
Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I do agree that when it's time to hang it up, it's time to hang it up. The worst thing you could do in the music industry is kind of overstay your welcome.
Oh yeah,
and become bad. If I was in like a real famous band, I'd rather go out on a high note than, no pun intended, but go out on like a high note, then carry on and become the fucking joke like Vince Neil has become to a bunch of goddamn people, including myself.
Right. And no, that's the bottom of the barrel right there.
And Motley Crue is, because none of them, well, like Vince and Nicky definitely did not go away musician-wise. They were just doing all this shit. But really, Vince needs to just go the fuck away permanently.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little different when you play an instrument, too, because when you play an instrument, but you could probably do that for quite some time and not really lose anything because you're playing an instrument. But whenever you're a singer, Jesus Christ, take care of your fucking voice. Have some goddamn pride.
Or just pack it in.
And if you can't, just pack it the fuck in.
It's really that simple.
Right.
So at the end of the day, the lesson here is you need passion. If your passion is more about the cash than the fans and the music, then go the fuck home. If it's time to go home, go the fuck home. Don't show your face again. Don't spend all this money, time, energy, and waste all these other people's time, money, and energy if you can't fucking do it the way you did before.
I agree.
Or if you can't learn to down to.
Exactly. So that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Retro Nostalgia Podcast. we did not actually touch base on anything with the topic that we were going to. So that's actually going to be next week's episode. But be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, this is Andrew.
And Dave.
All right.